No. Holy Christ. Holy Christ. Holy Christ, there's nothing left.
Your body may have gone, but you're still here.
One of the most common classes of cyborg in science fiction is functional cyborgs. Functional cyborgs are people modified mechanically to perform specific tasks, usually a job of work. We can see that Murphy in the movie is a functional cyborg, which is designed to carry out the task of arresting criminals. Cyborgs are the combination of man and machine. We can therefore think of cyborgs as hybrids of organisms and technologies that enable organisms to perform enhanced functions, thus providing cyborgs with capabilities that otherwise would not have been available. A cyborg is an electronically controlled organism, that is, a creature that is half human and half machine. Cyborgs are the products of the implantation of mechanical tissue in the human body or the replacement of part of the original tissue with a mechanical device, including the replacement of damaged tissue, the replacement of a physical body with a mechanical device, including the replacement of damaged tissue, the replacement of physical body with a mechanical device, and the implementation of electronics to strengthen the brain. It has been one of the goals of the development of modern science and technology to become the cyborg by combining human and intelligent machine, and combining the advantages of both. In a sense, cyborgs are not a new concept because humans are constantly improving themselves with engineered products. For example, a soldier with wooden legs or a modern patient with a pacemaker for heart failure could be called a cyborg. In Haraway's article, she says, a cyborg exists when at least two kinds of boundaries are simultaneously problematic. That between animals and humans, and that between self-controlled, self-governing machines and solitary organisms, especially human. So there's evidence that cyborgs have the literacy that human has, which they have both mechanical rationalities and human activism. In the movie, Murphy, the main character who becomes a robot, fails to follow instructions when faced a kidnapped child. This scene fully demonstrates that cyborgs are still human. Although they are at the boundary between machines and organisms, it cannot be ignored that they still maintain critical thinking of words and critical literacy in the face of specific information given by machines. In the film, cyborg creatures look, feel, suffer, and behave like humans, and the cyborg's suffering is key to their humanity. We can see that their artificial intelligence is made out of code memories, scripted dialogue, and loops of repeated behaviors. Their body were once made out of true cyborgic combination of part metal, part meat. Cyborgs relied on artificial intelligence programs that have been programmed by their coders to filter and analyze the information they read, performing tasks according to the data analyzed by the system does not involve their consciousness of autonomy. In this world, the cyborgs represent unformed consciousness, potential consciousness, awakening consciousness. Emotion affected how a cyborg works, and the more pain he feels, the easier it is to awaken to his original consciousness. So the doctor manipulated his consciousness by lowering his dopamine levels until he no longer had any mood swings.
2%.
Hold it there. Alex? Alex, how do you feel?
I feel fine, Dr. Norton.
In the study on critical consciousness, Paulo Freire, an educator, argues that people should learn to read and write as part of the process of becoming conscious of one's experience, as historically conscious within specific power relations. So we can define that critical literacy refers to the ability to read and write, or to read different types of media, encouraging critical thinking and finding new or potential meaning in words and information. All types of critical thinking have evolved from the overall concept of critical literacy. So critical literacy is the basis for deep thinking. Critical literacy is the lens through which we examine texts in various forms and modalities, and challenge assumptions and ideas about our society and our world. In the film, Murphy critically examines his past memories and his sound scenes in school, questioning the existence cyber world and seeking the truth of his victimization. In rhetoric speculations, Scott Sanger writes that critical literacy strategies attempt to move students and citizens from the consumption and production of technological selves that only functionally literate decorate the social media space to a more critical, rhetorical, and morally self-aware expression of online identity. He advocated thinking about how the power of technology should enable the language of our personal bodies and identities to transcend the boundaries that have been drawn and envision new possibilities of self-representation. This is particularly true of cyborgs, who are better able to convert their thoughts into words with more advanced technology, while having human critical literacy. Just like in the movie, Murphy shows his understanding of the enemy on a holographic panel. In most cases, personal data is collected in an unwitting manner. Cyber's reinterpretation, reuse, and reapplication of a person's digital data. Applying a critical literacy approach leads to personal data being distinguished in terms of type and context, thereby providing a framework through which to understand and interpret their personal data. Murphy uses the data he identifies to compare and differentiate it from the data the system assigns to criminals, such targeting day. As cyber's continue to be modified and upgraded, their processing of information becomes more accurate and their understanding of contemporary digital society becomes more complex. One thing that cannot be ignored is that cyber writing returns the localness of human writing. In this paper, Pennycourt argues that language is a local practice and is embedded in people's social and cultural lives. Cyber writing and literacy also enhance the concept of localization. This can be seen in the movie about Murphy, breaking through the system at the end. Although he had read the message forbidding him to approach, what he was experiencing was still a subliminal warning against following the rules. So it was his ability to read and write, integrated with his own experience and emotions, that served him and his family. In their analysis of Haraway's A Cyborg Manifesto, Professor Mouse and Reis present a new perspective. They believe that technology can both liberate academic freedom and eliminate as well as paralyzing it. And they emphasize the robotic nature of writing, that we don't see writing as purely feminine or masculine, but as cyborg writing in all its forms. So it follows from this argument that the critique of the gender nature of writing needs to take into account the complex relationship with technology. The cyber writing of the future is trying to overcome the constraints and controls that writing technology places on words and ideas to push our writing toward the most linear narrative possible. For example, the holographic projection panel that Murphy sees in front of him in battle. The writing shown here is not about writing with a pen on the surface, but about using consciousness and thought to write down what you think of a person or thing you see through the technology of computers. Murphy's use of an embedded electronic eye to present the information in his mind is also a form of writing, and is most likely to become the writing technique that will appear and become popular in the future when writing develops to a certain stage. In the same way, in-article writing is a technology that restructures thoughts. Technologies are artificial, but paradox against artificiality is natural to human beings. Technology, properly interialized, does not degrade human life but on the contrary enhance it. Based on this argument, we have reason to believe that in the future people really become cyborgs. Their literacy will get leap development because of the popularization of high tech, just like the main character in the film can more quickly with active consciousness of self-judgment according to the information.
He's ready.